gentlemen. So good to be here, to be squeezed between two great men, which were in the beginning of our longevity fund, Aubrey and David. Your thinking on longevity escape velocity fascinated me back in 2017 and 2018. And we set up our first longevity fund. So here we are, it's our third fund together with Peter Diamandis, Bold Longevity Growth, and with a mission to bring affordable and accessible version of longevity to the work. I'm also innovation board member with XPRIZE, and we have Jamie Justice today, executive director of healthspan XPRIZE. We'll talk about this more. I'm on the board of American Federation of Aging Research and book author. I brought 100 books for all of you. So come at 4 p.m. around. I think we're going to have a coffee break at 4 p.m. and by reception area, I'll give out the signed copy. You're very welcome. A little bit why we are here today. And just a few years ago, working on longevity was an option. And it was an option to explore something that we never had through the whole history of humanity. And finally, through the whole evolution, we have something which can crack the complexity of human biology. And I'm talking about artificial intelligence and computing power. So this is great. But as we discussed today during our roundtable, people respond to carrots not so great, to the way they respond to the stick. So our stick in fundamental terms is silver tsunami. And I think, today longevity is still a relatively small group of scientists, entrepreneurs, technologists as well. And a few years from now, world will have no option rather than respond to inverse demographic pyramid with redefining what is old age and our ability to manage that. So what we've done, we combined our work and our investments through our longevity funds into 7 signs of longevity revolution. And let me quickly guide you, what do we see through our investor lenses, and use examples of our portfolio companies, some other great companies in the world which work in this field. Well, first of all, if a few years ago, Apple Watch or Oura Ring was just a nice thing to have, and it was, basically like a lifestyle convenience device. Right now, wearables are becoming our personalized healthcare devices. And this is amazing. Just a few decades ago, the whole longevity experiment would be to find the statistically representative group of very old people, follow them for remaining part of their life, which is 10, 20, 25 years, and draw conclusions. What you can do in this world with a feedback loop which lasts 10 to 20 years. I mean, almost nothing, right? So Oura Ring, Apple Watch, whatever we have, all the medical grade devices that we have right now give us an opportunity to establish this feedback loop and take care of our health. Moreover, to share it with the medical system and receive help. We invested in a company called BioLink. They're based in San Diego. And it does look like continuous glucose monitor, and it's right for the word continuous and the word monitor. They use this microneedling technology, and even right now, I tested the device in the end of last year. They actually can measure 7 different biomarkers, including lactate and cortisol. And then when we enter in the continuous measurement of the hormonal world, I think it's super important. It's a huge breakthrough for our ability to measure our state of our health and reverse aging, especially for the female part of population, which has more dependence and a higher degree of hormonal volatility. In their dreams, very soon you will pick up 7 out of 300 different biomarkers that they will be measuring. So, follow this company, amazing work that they've done. Well, the second piece, and we discussed it already, AI is becoming a better doctor. The last 4 years that I had my medical screening in Fountain Life, the chain of clinics that we established together with Mark Benioff, Peter Diamandis, Tony Robbins many years ago. I'm actually flying tomorrow to New York to have my, another annual medical screening. My full body MRI was analyzed by AI. And these days, we're living in the days where human eyes can detect early stage cancer. I think this figure, 38% success rate for detection of early stage cancer cancer. This is the figure for the breast cancer. So it can be successfully done by human in 38% of cases because it's early stage cancer, how you can see that when you're looking at the scan. Artificial intelligence combined with human intelligence can do it successfully in 99% of cases. And AI is coming to the medicine and healthcare in a big way. Like we invested in a company called Gstaad. They actually, first time through the whole existence, for like 150 years of stethoscopes, they completely digitalized the stethoscopes. And Echo Stethoscope, they already got 7 FDA approval. You can actually buy it. I'm bringing 2 to my fellow friends in Europe on the way back from the US end of this month. It's actually 2 times more accurate than human ear. Than used by a human doctor, which I think is a great progress in terms of our ability to detect heart disease and lung disease as well. Funny enough, we have some time. If you think about this device, this is an anecdote. If you think about this device, it should not look like stethoscope. There's no reason it should actually repeat the design of the old stethoscope. But we know that healthcare is super conservative, so they had a feedback from doctors all around the world, especially from developing countries, and they said patient will see me, and I want him or her see me with the full power, with a stethoscope, on me. So, that tells you something about these, where we are today in terms of conservative nature of healthcare. Well, gene editing, is helping us to cure a lot of diseases at its source, but I think it's extremely important that we already know all longevity genes in our DNA that are responsible for aging or for us to grow young. And just a few decades ago, it took humanity, I think, 13 years and $3 billion through the Human Genome Project to sequence human genome. And last time I checked, I think they sequenced like 98%. They didn't even manage to sequence the remaining 2%. Well, these days, it's a couple of hours, couple $100, and you have your genome sequence, right? This is where we are today. We invested in a company called Tessera Therapeutics. It's been set up by Flagship Pioneering, one of the leading biotech funds in the world, founders of Moderna, a lot of other great companies. What they do is they call mobile genetic elements to modify genes in our DNA. And they obviously in development stage. This is still a promise that needs to be verified and proved. But what they claim, they will be able to amend every gene in our DNA. I mean, this is crazy. I mean, you don't need to do it, but this is just to show you the power of technology that these guys are working on. Then 10 times more effective than CRISPR. I'm waiting for another few years for them to, go into the more public stage and, being approved by regulators and have an opportunity to amend us on genetic level. Number 4, when I talk about number 4, I always use Aubrey's metaphor about the old car. We can replace, in the old car, we can replace spare parts, even an engine, which is more difficult with humans. Whether you define engine as the heart or the brain, this will come in the future, not now. But there's so many, things that you can actually do in terms of, going into organ and tissue regeneration. You can basically, use epigenetic reprogramming. And I think David Sinclair is a good friend of us. We invested in his company. I'm seeing him later on this week in Boston. You can restore vision loss. You can reprogram cell. And by the way, we invested in some of the companies established by George as well. You can 3D print some of the organs. So last time I checked, 95% of the 3D printed organs actually end up in the labs for these scientific discoveries, which I think is great. It takes out the whole demand from the organ space, helping humans who are sometimes waiting months and years for the donor organ to be available. And later this week, I'm visiting the lab set up by Dean Kamen and Martin Rothblatt in United Therapeutics. I mean, they're working on 3D printing of lungs. I've seen hearts, kidneys, etc. I'm very excited is what is happening in this place. In terms of using our lymph nodes as a place to regrow organs, a few years ago, we invested in a company called Ligenesis. They're based in Pittsburgh, US. And they used the lymph node, this one, to regrow liver. And I think they're in the second year of the human trials. They already treated, I think, 8 patients. And what is happening, you take the donor liver, you split it in 50 to 70 pieces, and you put it here, use kind of stem cells to stimulate regrowth, and your body is actually regrown liver. Like it looks like a mini liver tree, which picks up the function of your liver. I think it's amazing technology. It's already been tested on many animals, now tested on humans, and I think it's very soon, in the next 5 to 10 years, as I define in the book, it's called the near horizon of longevity innovations. We're going to see the opportunity to employ this kind of old car life extension metaphor on ourselves. We have a relatively mature audience. I'm 53 chronologically. Depending on the aging clocks that I use, I'm anywhere between 39 and 46. But I remember the time when cancer was kiss of death. You remember that if someone had a cancer, you kind of know he or her will be dead in the next 3, 6 to 12 months. That was the reality of 30, 40 years ago. Well, not anymore. If you detect cancer at early stage, and I can tell you the figures for colon cancer, recovery rates for colon cancer identified at the early stage right now is more than 90%, I think 93 last time I checked. And stage 4 or late stage cancer discovered, recovery rates are still anywhere between 8 and 23%. And the way we detect colon cancer today is an unpleasant procedure called colonoscopy. Like every 5 years, you need to do it. People don't like it, delay it, forget it. And frankly speaking, like I can basically die twice within the 5 years horizon from a colon cancer, right? If I'm in a bad place health-wise. So we invested in the companies. Example here is Actual. We also invested in Freenome, which suggests taking your blood draw every quarter and using AI and different bioalgorithms to identify signs of the early stage cancer. So I think in few years from now, what we're going to have is quarterly blood test, which will help you to identify cancer at very early stage. And the beauty of treating cancer at early stage is actually recovery rates are high, but the quality of your life stays the same. So I'm so happy that I can witness and support this revolution and in this winning the war against cancer. A lot of you talk about longevity in the pill, and I'm pretty sure. Well, let's talk about today. When you go to the pharmacy today and you ask them for a drug against aging, they would think you're crazy, or they will send you to cosmetics, or they will send you to supplements. That's it. So 5, 10 years from now, when you go to the pharmacy, you'll bring. Thank you very much. Thank you. You'll bring. Hello? Yeah. You'll bring a prescription, and I'm pretty sure it can be the old drug repurposed, whether it's rapamycin, metformin. I'm also very excited, like many of you, about GLP-1 inhibitors, or it can be new drug. develop with the help of artificial intelligence. We invested in 4 companies which use AI for drug discovery and drug development. I think we have Alex Aliper here, the partner of a person whom we love, Alex Zhavronkov. And in Silica published a paper a couple of years ago. They actually managed to compress the first 2 years of drug discovery cycle into 2 months. So think about disruption this will make to the big pharma and drug development industry, because we're still living in a world where it takes 15 years and $6.5 billion to develop the drug. So this is, I think, in 2024 prices. Just a few years ago, it was $2 billion. It's still a lot, but today it's like 6.5. That's a lot. And then finally, and this is the topic for my next book, which will be published in 2028. It's funny. I think we're the last generations of humans to exist in the current biological form. I'm pretty sure, not sure about my generation, but our kids and grandkids will be engineered humans where biology will be combined with technology, even with gene editing at later stage or even at embryo stage. We obviously need to solve a lot of issues in terms of the ethics, society, regulation. We're not there yet, but I'm pretty sure very soon, in a couple of decades, our brain gonna be integrated with artificial intelligence and computing power. We will have a choice where we're gonna spend the most of our time, in the virtual environment or in material world. You know, I always had a dream to go to Mars. Thanks to Elon Musk, it's less of the dream and hopefully a possibility. But I couldn't excuse myself for like 3 years to go to Mars. You know, I have a family, I have fun to run, so many things in there. But I think just sending my avatars to Mars and enjoying this whole experience, it's a beautiful way to fulfill my and dreams of many other people. So that's it about, you know, what we should expect in the next 5 to 10 to 20 years. I'm very excited about this. Just wanted to say a few words about Healthspan X Prize, the global competition to reverse aging. It started August 2018 with the meeting with Aubrey in San Francisco downtown. So I'm still very grateful for that. Again, we'll have Jamie Justice, our executive director, to talk about this. But I think it's exciting. We managed to invite 600 teams to register from 30+ countries. And think about this: the winning team will get $101 million for reversing biological age by 20 years in just 12 months. I mean, obviously there are some prizes. I mean, if you do -10, -15, -20, but it's still, you know, super exciting. And I think registration is open until April next year. So Jamie will have a time on the stage today, tomorrow, to talk more about this. But I'm really proud that I was in a group of people to kind of initiate this and support with our own funding. And then it's been supported by Evolution Foundation from Saudi Arabia, by Chip Wilson, the founder of Lululemon. We have some of the donors and sponsors of Healthspan X Prize here in the audience, so I'm very grateful for that. It's great to join forces for this beautiful thing. And finally, a little bit about our fund. It's the third longevity portfolio that we built. We're doing this since 2018. We have 4 companies public. We have another 5 companies to be public in the next 12, 18 months. These are the companies that we invested this year. This is 4 new companies, and my partners there is Timur Butros-Ghali, amazing man who used to work with Michael Porter to manage his wealth, and Peter Diamandis, whom you all know. And if you want to stay connected, just scan this QR code or send me email at sy@blg.vc. which is Sergey Young at boldlongevitygrowth.venturecapital. Very simple. Otherwise, I'm here, unfortunately, only for 1 day. So I have my medical screening on Thursday in New York, and then we do a trip for our investors in Boston together with Peter, visiting Dean Kamen, David Sinclair, George, all of these labs, discussing the new opportunities that they're building as well. I'm here with Avik, a managing partner of the fund, and he was one of the co-founders of Longevity Fund. So come and see us at 4 o'clock by reception area. Very happy to give away. But otherwise, I just wanted to thank to all of you for your big and small contribution to the field, and my dream for all of us to live 200 healthy and happy years. Thank you.
Thank you.